Well, this is new. Welcome back to Bricks and Trips. It's Alton Towers 2026 opening day, and I am so excited to be back. If you can see the sea of high-vis vests, they're all the new Alton Towers employees, just loving their first day on park. They've just been welcoming everybody through at 10 o'clock. I can't resist. I'm heading to see BB's Land first. I'm desperate to see the new Bluey ride. I'm wondering if it's going to be testing today. There's definitely the smell of paint in the air still here. They've been doing an awful lot of work and it is looking so much different than the last time we came. Looks like they've taken down all the big blue barriers and now we're just down to pretty much the ride. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Bluey the Ride, Here Come the Grannies is due to open the 28th of March. Doesn't say it on the sign, but it definitely should do. And here's our best look at the Healer House yet. It's looking really cool. All those colours are popping so nicely. And just beyond, you've got the tree house and of course the Bluey Ride itself. And oh wow, this thing is looking incredible. All the foliage out the front as well. They've got so much effort. It does just look like a proper playground. Oh, look at all the clothes on the washing line as well. Obviously, it's really disappointing that this hasn't managed to quite get open for opening weekend, but there is still a little bit of work to do. There's a little bit of painting to finish off, and I'm fairly certain that they want to get rid of all the scaffolding and make sure there's like one good last look over everything just to make sure it's all spot on. I'd love to try and catch it testing today, but I really don't think I'm going to be able to. I'm not spending all my day in BB's Land today. And I've only just realised the whole front of the building's open. I can't imagine it's going to stay like that, but I suppose you never know. The Octonauts does have an open fronted station building, but it's little bits like this which is just keeping the ride from opening just yet. Final bits of paints and finishing touches. It's really not far away, but it's such a shame that it's not opening for another 2 weeks. But I do understand them wanting it to be absolutely pristine for opening day, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We will be down here probably the second weekend when it's open. I would love to say that I'm going to be here for opening day, but unfortunately we've got other plans on the 28th of March, and Alton Towers, whilst I love you, you cannot compete with Disneyland Paris. And this is the first time that I've actually confirmed it on the channel, but on the 28th of March, we're going to be heading to the opening of World of Frozen at Disneyland Paris. I absolutely cannot wait to see it all. If you're not already, make sure you are subscribed because the videos are going to be coming thick and fast through the end of March and the start of April. But as I said when I came into BB's Land, there's quite a smell of paint in the air. There's lots of little touch-ups that they've done over the off-season, which actually look really nice. We've just been on the In the Night Garden the ride though, and it does look as if the Ninky Nonk is still not doing very well. Most definitely not spending all of today in BB's Land. We're going to be getting all the way across the park and trying to get on as many rides as we can. But queues are heaving. Obviously it's opening day, I wouldn't expect anything less. But it'd be quite nice if at least all the rides were open on time today. So the entire world of David Walliams is not open yet. We've got the Runaway Mine Train, Congo River Rapids. They are not open, they're still closed for maintenance, along with a couple of the big rides as well. So Smiler wasn't open for parking opening, as is Galactica, not open until 11, and also Nemesis Subterra as well. Very strange choice. Thankfully it's just hitting 11 o'clock, so Gangster Granny and World of David Walliams will be opening shortly, hopefully with some slightly shorter queues than everywhere else on park at the moment. I really enjoy Gangster Granny as a ride. I do think that the scenes in there that are just too loud though, especially the escape, the heist section itself, it's really noisy. And what is Alton Towers and Merlin's obsession with air cannons? They just don't belong in a kid's ride. Just tone it down a little bit. It doesn't need to be quite so intense. With all the painting across the park though, it does seem as though the carousel has been skipped, unfortunately. A little bit tired looking now. Of course, it has been a couple of seasons now since Flavio's Fabulous Fandango left the park, and it does leave a really empty looking part of land, and you can't help but think that it would be really nice to have the Retro Squad back, or just some new flat ride additions, because Alton Towers really does need it. And of course, not just flat rides as well, but you don't have to look very far for the old 4D cinema that Ice Age used to be in. It's just a totally wasted space these days, and I'm sure it's used for storage, but I mean, you've got guests in the park that are really struggling with queues today. It really is busy. Why not make use of all this space to just enhance the offering across the park? And ultimately, David Walliams, of course, specialises in books. What would be wrong with starting their own 4D show, or even just a theatre in here, just to go and explore one of the books? I've never read them, they're certainly not my age, but I think it would be a really nice addition to this part of the park and actually fitting with the whole area. Maybe that's something that they'll do when they have Project Horizon, which seems to be perpetually on the horizon. There's still no word as to whether that's going to be coming, if it's still going to be going ahead. The planning permission is still there, it's been approved, so it's up to Alton Towers just to pull their finger out and actually do it. But I just don't feel like there's an awful lot of investment in some of the rides across the park, especially this year. Of course, there is the Bluey ride, which will be opening soon, and that will be of a nice addition. But Alton Towers is still missing those rides that are like 1 metre to 1.2 metres. Those kids who are between sort of 4 and 8, there really isn't an awful lot of new stuff that they can do at the park. I'm really hoping that when Project Horizon eventually gets greenlit by the park, that they might have maybe a smaller spinning indoor coaster, something along the lines of like Crush's Coaster at Disneyland Paris. I think that'd be a fantastic addition to the park. And of course, the ride height limit for Crush's Coaster is 1.07 metres as well, so it would fall into that bracket absolutely ideally. But on a personal note, it's starting to approach 10 years since Alton Towers had a new big ride at the park as well, obviously with Wickerman being 2018, so even if they announced and started construction on a brand new roller coaster for thrill seekers, it's going to be at least a decade since their last big attraction opening. Of course, you could argue that Nemesis Subterra was a new attraction for when Nemesis Reborn was rebranded, but it's not really quite the same as a new roller coaster experience. That actually brings me on to a bigger point, and that's the question to say that does Alton Towers even need more roller coasters? Well, yes, I'm a thrill seeker, I have to say yes, but realistically, it's really starting to lack in some key attractions across the park. Things like an indoor water ride, something like Valhalla at Blackpool Pleasure Beach would be a massive addition to Alton Towers. I don't think they're going to do it. I think the UK as a whole is starting to move away from water rides, especially with the closure of the Rapids this year at Thorpe Park, which is such a loss to that area. But on the whole, Alton Towers and UK theme parks just needs to focus more on indoor attractions. Things like the Ice Age cinema that's abandoned. They just need to have things going on in their spaces. Hopefully that'll be something that Universal actually forces Merlin to start taking some more consideration of in the next few years, because 2031 and 2032 is going to be a really telling time for not just theme park enthusiasts, but the theme park industry as a whole. Anyway, enough moaning about the future. Let's focus on our own future. I think we're going to head over to 13 and Rita. Let's go and try and get a big ride in. Well, we decided against Rita and 13 in the end because an hour and a half each is a long old queue for today. But we've just been to the Oak and Chains, what used to be the old woodcutters, and they've got a new menu there, and I will say, quite impressed with some of it, less impressed with the pricing. So there was 4 of us today, and a couple of them were sharing food as well. So we spent £40 including the Merlin discount, so it would have been about £50. But the biggest expense of the lot was the sweet potato and halloumi fajitas. You get a good portion of sweet potato and halloumi, but 3 of the smallest wraps I have ever seen in my entire life. Not worth £20 for sure. I definitely made the right choice today though. They had some new skewered chips with chili and cheese on, and they were some of the best food I've had on the park in a long time. £8.50, an absolute bargain. Thankfully we got there pretty early on though, because the queues here today are absolutely huge. Obviously I've already shown you ride times, and just for a little bit of context, right now the shortest queue on a roller coaster is already an hour, and we're only just at about 12:15 after lunch. If there ever was a day to consider one of the new Alton Towers fast passes, I think that today would be the day, but I'm still not going to go and spend £175 to get on everything as fast as I'd like. I think we already spend enough on Merlin passes a year. I think it's going to be quite a slow day for rides today. It is one of the brilliant things about living quite so close and having a Merlin pass, is that you don't mind too much if you don't manage to get on anything, because at least you get the atmosphere whilst you're here, and you get some steps in as well, which is always good for you. So let's try and finally get a proper ride today, and Wickerman is a great place to start. Wickerman's broke.
Experiencing a delay, and we have ceased our ritual. We apologise for any inconvenience, but we are still assessing the interruption. If you have just entered our territory or at the start of your journey along the queue line, we advise you to leave the woods and try other rides and attractions.
I'm glad we stuck with it. We've moved forwards at about the same rate as the queue has, and they're just starting to send some empty trains around. I think Wickerman might be my favourite off-ride experience of the whole park, apart from possibly the Smiler, but I do wish the Smiler didn't have all the cages over the top. I love the open-air feel of this one. While you might see the people walking off behind me, apparently the Wickerman is closed due to the adverse weather conditions. Yes, these adverse weather conditions. Apparently there was an electrical storm within 15 miles. They've just made an announcement. It's all about public safety though. For any of you thinking of joining us at Alton Towers in the middle of March, let me tell you that it is currently hailing. Well, pleased to report the Wickerman is running as smooth as ever, minus the technical delays, but not too bad in the end, about 75-80 minutes to get on the ride, and it wasn't advertised hour-long queue time, so not awful. Well, we've just heard from a couple of the people across the park that the Bluey ride has been testing today, so I'm going to hang around back here again and see if we can see one actually going around. I don't know if you can see in the doorway, but there is an engineer up there, and there has been a couple of people just floating around as well, so hopefully we'll see another couple of test runs soon. I do acknowledge that it's a little bit sad that I'd rather sit here and watch a test run than actually go on other rides, but I'm hoping that a test run should be hopefully within the next half an hour or so, because otherwise I'm going to have to go and Rita for a 60-minute wait. But there's a lot of people doing just the same today. Seems like a lot of people are waiting just to see if there's any more rides. And I think that's the digitalised Dan. I am absolutely certain I've just heard lap bars being put down from the Bluey building. Let's see if it does a test run in the next few minutes. Oh, we finally got a test run. Good Lord, it goes up that hill fast. It just looks like such a smooth ride. It is a little bit short, but it's a kid's roller coaster, what you'd to expect. Well, that was exciting, wasn't it? That's the first time I've seen it up and running in person. I'm really liking the look of this one. The good news is, it does look like it's set up for 2 cycles because it's going back round again. It takes so long to get up and round that lift hill, but it's pretty speedy up there. But it's just so long. It's a bit trippy to watch, to be fair. I really do like the look of this ride. And it's nice to see a new IP at Alton Towers as well. I've just spotted on the back of the roller coaster, they've actually got some gaffer tape covering up the back of it. I wonder if there's going to be some little Easter eggs on the back of the train. Well, after some very exciting tests on the Bluey ride, I think we're going to go head through Katanga Canyon and onto Gloomy Wood. The rapids are most definitely closed at the moment, not going to be reopening until May. It is a bit sad to see the rapids when they're like this. Obviously I know that it's not the most popular of rides heading into the spring season, especially not with the hail we've had today, but it would be nice for them to be fully open and ready for them 1st of March, especially given that Katanga Canyon is basically a useless space at the moment with both the Runaway Mine train and the Congo River Rapids shut down. The only reason why you would be here is if you're going to go to the pasta and pizza place, and that is far too expensive these days for us, because respectfully, for £23 for an adult, there is significantly better deals across the park. And even their post 2 PM deal with Merlin Pass, £17 for pizza and pasta, is just so expensive. And unfortunately I do have to say that it is definitely not the best food across the park for quality either, so not getting the quality, not getting the price, you're not getting my business yet. And after a very disappointing visit to Katanga Canyon, onto one of the best places in the park, Forbidden Valley. And of all the Forbidden Valley, I think this entrance sign is my favourite change since they introduced Nemesis Reborn. Like, don't get me wrong, I do like some of the phalanx stuff, I think this tank's pretty cool, but wholly unnecessary. But then again, they have got a helicopter just chilling in front of Nemesis Subterra. That's a pretty cool addition. I don't think I'm going to be able to get on Nemesis today. It's well over an hour's queue for that, and unfortunately we are a little bit busy. But I might see if I can get on single rider Toxicator, because that is still one incredible ride. Absolutely love getting a ride in on Toxicator. It is by far and away the best flat ride on the park. And the fact that it's currently on a 25-minute queue makes it even better, especially seeing as there's about 7 people in the single rider queue. It really is an awesome ride, Toxicator. I wish I could go on that again, but I'm going to try and get one sneaky ride in on Nemesis before I'm off today. Oh my goodness, I have missed the roar of this ride. It's not quite the same as the old Nemesis before, obviously it became Reborn a couple of years ago. But I think some of the theming additions have really been much needed, and of course it was pretty much at the end of its lifestyle, so it needed sorting sooner or later, don't you think? I cannot wait to be getting back on this. Is this the best ride at Alton Towers? Oh, I'm not sure, but I do love it. Well, what can I say? On its day, Nemesis can be any roller coaster in Europe. It is an absolute stunner from start to finish. I know I've got a soft spot for it. I've been coming on it all my life pretty much. But I'm just glad that it's back into March, back able to ride it. It's the best time of the year. But unfortunately, it may be the best time of the year, but it is the worst time of the day. It's closing time for us at least. We would love to stay for the Alton after a dark event, but unfortunately time limitations just aren't there today, so we're having to cut it even before the sun started to set, really. But as I said right at the start of the video, we will be heading to Disneyland Paris World of Frozening opening on the 29th of March, and I absolutely can't wait to show you everything that place has got to offer. Make sure you are subscribed, hit the like button, and also drop me a comment down below and let me know, did you know there's an exit at this side of the park? Because I sure didn't, and that's a very nice way to get back to the car. But thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.